starts now. Tonight, a recovery mission continues at Camelback Mountain after a hiker was found dead. Thanks so much for joining us. For 12 News at 10, I'm Kariba Devine.
I'm Mark Curtis. Crews spent all afternoon surveying the remote area where the body was located. They're expected to return tomorrow morning to continue their efforts. 12 News journalist Gabriela Becerra has the latest on the investigation.
Technical rescue crews were called to Camelback Mountain just before 2 o'clock when a hiker was found off trail. Sadly, that call turned into a recovery mission. A tragic discovery on Monday afternoon. A hiker found dead off trail in a steep and rugged area of Camelback Mountain. Phoenix crews going up Echo Canyon Trail on foot and by air to get an idea of how to safely recover the body. The fire department's drone could be seen hovering over a gully on a residential side of the mountain as park rangers looked down.
I'm surprised, and I guess not surprised. It's really hot out there, so anything can happen.
Hikers coming off the trail were met by more rangers, detectives, and firefighters than usual.
We're just finding out now.
We thought maybe they were doing drills or something. We didn't know anyone was up there.
Locals say Camelback Mountain can be strenuous for even experienced hikers.
There's a lot of people that do it all year round, and they're fully capable of doing it, but accidents can happen.
And tourists say it's tougher than expected.
I would say there's a lot of warning signs that kind of play up how difficult the hike's going to be.
This recovery comes as Phoenix police have been searching for a missing man last seen hiking Echo Canyon Trail last Tuesday. They couldn't confirm if it's the same person. A police helicopter circled the area and detectives got as close as they could. They're investigating how the hiker died. Police have not yet identified the hiker. Stay with 12 News for updates. At Camelback Mountain, Gabriela Becerra, 12 News.
All right, Gabby, thank you. New at 10, detectives in Mojave County have solved a cold case and brought closure to a family thousands of miles away. Back in 2021, someone living in Dolan Springs found a man's body underneath a concrete slab. The sheriff's office spent 4 years chasing down leads before finally posting on Facebook asking the public for help. Well, back in July, they got a call that helped them identify the man as Chet Williams. A woman told investigators that her parents used to own the property that Williams lived with them until he suddenly vanished in 1999. Soon after, her parents poured a concrete slab on the property. DNA tests confirmed the remains are from Williams. The woman's parents both died in the years since, and Williams' relatives now live on the East Coast.
We have an update tonight on a deadly crash in Phoenix. Police say 33-year-old Arthur Lamelli died this afternoon in a crash near 35th Avenue and Happy Valley Road. Officers say the two cars collided head-on. Lamelli and the other driver were rushed to the hospital. Lamelli died. The other driver remains in critical condition tonight. Investigators believe Lamelli crossed into oncoming traffic, but they're still trying to piece together exactly what happened. The suspects accused of killing 10-year-old Rebecca Baptiste appeared in court today. They were formally arraigned on a long list of charges. One of the suspects, Rebecca's own father. Investigators say that he and his girlfriend tortured and abused the young girl for years until she eventually died.
12 News journalist Bianca Bono has been following this story and is joining us now in studio. And Bianca, what happened in court?
Well, in addition to both of these suspects being formally arraigned on that long list of charges, the attorney for Richard Baptiste says he now wants off the case.
We'd enter a plea of not guilty.
Richard Baptiste and Anicia Woods pleading not guilty, charged with murdering 10-year-old Rebecca Baptiste as well as child abuse and molestation.
We'd waive a reading of all the charges, enter a plea of not guilty to all the charges, enter denial to any of the allegations.
12 News obtaining audio from the court hearings on Monday as the couple was formally arraigned on their charges in Apache County. A Superior Court judge ruled there was enough probable cause for the case to move forward.
The court will find probable cause does exist.
According to staff at Rebecca Baptiste School in Phoenix, there were signs that she and her siblings were being abused and neglected for the past year, and several reports were made to the Department Department of Child Safety raising red flags. DCS says the final report came in May of this year. But during the course of the state's investigation, Richard Baptiste and Anicia Woods moved the family to rural Apache County, living in this yurt-style tent. In late July, Rebecca was found unresponsive with injuries all over her body. She died 3 days later. Authorities say Richard Baptiste admitted to using excessive force when hitting his daughter with a belt.
What do you make of your client's own admissions according to the police report?
Not helpful, but it is what it is. We have to deal with that.
That was Richard Baptiste's attorney just last week.
Using a belt in the old days was probably more customary than it is today. Maybe not to that level, but again, that's what he did, and that's what we have to work with.
But now he says he wants to withdraw from the case.
I need to advise the court upon review of recent discovery, there is an issue that's arisen that's requiring my withdrawal.
And that attorney asked the judge if he could give a further explanation as to why he was withdrawing in private. So it remains unclear exactly why he wants off this case. Woods and Baptiste are due back in court later this month. We're live in studio tonight. Bianca Bono, 12 News.
All right, Bianca, thanks. The Supreme Court will allow ICE agents to continue their roving patrols after a case from Southern California. Lower courts previously ruled the operations likely violated the Fourth Amendment. The High Court didn't give an explanation for the decision, and the 3 liberal justices dissented. The case involving agents pulling people over who identify as Latino, including some U.S. citizens. Lower courts found ICE could not justify the stops, but the Supreme Court disagreed.
Developing now, a suspect is dead after being shot by police in Phoenix. Officers were called to an armed robbery near 35th Avenue in Fillmore around noon. While responding, they saw the suspect's vehicle just a few blocks away. As they pulled the car over, a man inside started shooting at officers. Officers fired back, hitting the man. He was taken to the hospital where he later died. No officers were injured. DPS troopers are investigating the shooting.
A sad update tonight from the Dragon Bravo fire. The National Park Service says a firefighter died this afternoon after suffering a medical emergency while fighting the blaze. It happened near the North Rim entrance station. The Park Service hasn't released the name of the firefighter or said what department he worked for. The Dragon Bravo fire has been burning since July 4th, destroying dozens of buildings, and it's burned more than 145,000 acres.
Maricopa County seized over 7,000 pounds of unsafe meat after more than 100 complaints. From May to July, they investigated 11 reports seizing food from street vendors without permits. Officials say that if you see vendors with a rotisserie outside on a fold-up table or a pop-up tent, it is likely unpermitted and may cause illness. Well, Phoenix is celebrating a new place for families to gather with the grand opening of Levine Heritage Park.
The ribbon cutting was held this morning near 71st Avenue and Baseline. It's the city's 189th park. Mayor Kate Gallego, Councilwoman Ana Hernandez, and parks leaders joined the community for the celebration, which included some really excited kids who couldn't wait to try things out.
Over there with the red and white, that is a ninja course.
The park adds much-needed green space to the rapidly growing Levine area, giving residents new trails, fields, and playgrounds.
There's nothing like a good park in your neighborhood, right?